Football. Ready, break.
Football in America is a special game. The men who play it make it so.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Have some fun.
This is the Gridiron Gumbo Show. High school, college, and pro football talk. Live from the studios of today's Country 105.7. The Gridiron Gumbo Show is being brought to you by Mid-South Forestry Equipment and Gina Choctaw Pines Casino. Now, let's talk football.
Good evening and welcome to episode 3 of the Gridiron Gumbo Show here on today's Country 105.7. Sean Larken with you. Derrick Lee to my right. Mike Holt across the way. How are you, fellas?
Good. Can't complain.
Week 3 of the show. About to be week 3 of high school football. We just wrapped up the second week. We had Thursday, Friday again. LSU got a big win. Saints are 0-2, but that's okay. We'll talk about that. We weren't as sad. Obviously, we knew this was coming, Mike, but it is a little frustrating when the Saints have been in both of these games, and I just want to walk out of the Superdome one time and be happy.
Or when you have a pass thrown right to you and you don't catch it.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
I mean, just little things. And again, that's what bad teams do. The little things kind of pile up, and it costs you a chance at victory. And then sometimes even when you don't fumble the ball, they call it a fumble. Yeah. So a couple things, like that.
It's week 2. It's 2 weeks for the officials, too.
Yeah, but again, this is just years and years of officiating blunders in that building. Same with LSU Florida. Sometimes they call a targeting, and sometimes it's not targeting, and then a guy's out for 3.5 quarters. Because that's what people come to see. They come to see their best players out of the game because of a rule that's probably the dumbest rule in any sport, actually.
You could tell watching him on the sidelines. He was really upset. He wanted to be out there.
Yeah, but Tigers get the win. We saw all 3 Weeks brothers, by the way.
Yeah.
They all 3 played. That's pretty wild. Not at the same time, but again, LSU gets the win. We wrap up week 2 here of the high school football season. Mixed bag here for the area. I had a couple teams get some wins. South Bow got on the board this week. We said there'd be better days. Look, they win 42-38. I'm trying to go through. Oberlin gets a win, 53-8 against Bolton. Kinder continues to roll there, 2-0, 59-41. That's a lot of points.
Wow.
A lot of points. Not as many as Barb and LCCP had, but a lot of points either way. Tioga 56, Leesville 20, Vinton 43, Maryville nothing. Let's see, Montgomery 34, Pickering 14, Opelousas Catholic 43, East Post 6, Welsh 36, Oakdale 28. The game of the week I had Thursday night, Grand Lake 28, Rosepine 14. However, the score again not as close as the game was. It was, which we'll get into it, kind of a crazy, like if you threw a bunch of stats out and I told you what would happen, you wouldn't be able to figure it out because of the way the game went. But again, Grand Lake scores twice in the final 2.5 minutes after it was tied for 14 all.
I thought we might go to overtime at one
I did
point.
too. There was a lot of things, and also like Rosepine had a chance to win.
Yeah.
They had the ball late. And then Friday night up in Manny, the Dragons injury bug continues to bite the Dragons, and it was early, and they've just had guys go down for 2 weeks now. But Manny, you got to give credit to Manny. They're 2-0.
Broadcasting live in the sauna.
Oh, yeah, we'll get there. 49-21. It was 4,921 degrees in that press box,
I got a full report after the game.
Yeah, I called Mike on my way home, and it's about like a
hour and a half drive.
Yeah, it's about hour 20, hour 15, and he got about an hour of it. Like a lot of things I can't say on the air because it was hot. I mean, we talked about it enough, but I got home and stood in the shower for like 45 straight minutes. Like I didn't even just put no soap on. I just stood under there because I was done. Like,
see, at least you made it into the house. I sat in my car.
Well, see, that's what I sat in the driveway for a while, Mike, talking to you, and I was like, all right, well, I got to go in here because I was about to die.
Oh, and you had places to be the next day.
Yeah, and again, I slept and had to go. Well, I guess I told somebody, I was like, the weather's not going to be too bad today in Baton Rouge. I was like, it's not going to be anything compared to what I had to sit through last night. So I was fine. Like, it may have been hot Saturday. I wouldn't have complained because I had enough complaining on Friday night. It was terrible. But, yeah, again, we, like I said, a couple teams in the area do get wins. But we had a close game on Thursday night. We can recap that one. Again, Rosepine drops to 0-2, but Grand Lake look, it was a strange game. If I could find my drive chart,
that's a good word for it.
Yeah, strange is. I mean, look.
Halloween's coming up.
So yeah, this is a game you would see on like Halloween or Friday the 13th, right? Grand Lake wins the toss, and we talked about last week how Rose Pine looked pretty good in the first quarter. They didn't give up any points. It was 7-0, with into the second quarter. Well, Grand Lake takes the opening kickoff back 80 yards. And I'm like, well, okay, that's not a good start.
No.
So they're up 7-0 before you can blink. 13 seconds in, Rose Pine gets the ball. They had a chance, had a receiver open on 3rd and 7. Brandon Cheney's kind of running the little drag route. What's crazy is I got home and I stayed up long enough to where I was able to kind of watch a little bit of the replay.
Mm-hmm.
So that it was loaded up. And they missed a receiver on 3rd and 7, so they punt. But then, Rose Pine gets it right back. Brenham Cheney, man, what a heck of a play. Keelan Vasquez catches one over the middle, and he's got a couple of steps on everybody. And Brenham just rips it out of there, rips it out of his hands. So they get the interception. Rose Pine gets it right back. Then they turn it over on downs on a 4th and 6. So Grand Lake gets it back at their own 41. 2 plays. One of them, Charles McFarland, goes 49 yards on a run to set up the 11-yard touchdown to Vasquez, his second. So 5:15 left in the opening quarter. We're thinking it's going to be a running clock. This ain't going to be fun. Not at all. Not going to be fun. But only a couple of big plays are the reason. There's been maybe 3 total plays that have gone for a long ways. We also said, if Rose Pine could just kind of minimize the big play, they can figure something out on offense. So they get the ball right after that, 14-0. They get a nice catch by Riker Blackman for 20 yards, but they're forced to punt. They force a 3-and-out. And then that's where they're able to punch it in. They get the ball right before the quarter ends at Grand Lake's 45, so they've got good field position. A couple of first downs by Devin Janice, and then a guy we talked about in pregame, Barrett Cootie, who played last year, standout baseball player, was injured most of football season last year. He got hurt in a scrimmage. He wasn't going to play, and then he comes back. He's like, I'm playing, I'm back. And he was back. 3rd and 1, he gets his first carry, converts. A couple plays later, Rose Pine gets on the board. Devin Janice 1 yard out. The extra point's no good. So 13-6, Grand Lake leads. 10:45 left in the second quarter. Thinking Rose Pine started to settle in. Grand Lake hadn't really hit any big plays. So then the next drive after the timeout or after the touchdown, that's when it gets a little weirder, Mike. Rose Pine's got some momentum here. Grand Lake's got the ball in their own 42. They end up punting, but there was a sequence in the drive where it was a 3rd down, I think, and Rose Pine showed blitz, so Grand Lake jumps. So they back up 5 yards. Well, then on the ensuing play, there's no snappage of the football, but Grand Lake kind of gets in. I described it as good as I could on the air. The offensive line kind of takes a side lunge, but they don't come set. They don't put their hand down. Well, Rose Pine jumps when they all shift, so 5 yards back forward. So, again, still no play ran here in the 2 penalties. Well, then it happens again. They try to get him to jump again. Rose Pine doesn't jump. The flag is on. It's in limbo at this point, Mike. What did we go? Maybe did you go back and look and see how long it took?
I think it was 15 minutes.
Had to have been at least 15 minutes of no plays being ran. A lot of discussion. The white hat disappeared for a long time. Not sure where he was going. Yeah,
it sounded like the DeRidder and South Bowl game when it was just penalties back and forth.
Yes, except they did. Yeah, except they ran plays. We did not run a play. It
I didn't
was
even run commercial.
Ball snap because we didn't know.
No, we didn't know.
We were like, we're not running commercial because we don't know what's about to happen.
You were like, the minute I go back for commercial,
they're gonna come back. So the third time they do this, it's on Grand Lake because Rose Pine didn't jump, but I'm thinking this is the same thing Grand Lake just did again. Somehow, you've got fans in the stands going, wave it off, wave the flag off, let's go. It was getting restless. Yeah. I agree. Ultimately, they called the penalty on Grand Lake again, so that forces the punt. And again, we're talking 15 minutes of nothing, no just plays being ran. Just standing around, confused. So hopefully, and we've talked about this, I'm going to try to piece that little sequence together and send it in to the LHSA and just get a explanation on what they're looking for.
It was like something that obviously they'd never seen.
No, and we said it. It's not something that's happened for us, in a little 3-play sequence. I'd just like to know. So after all that, they punt. Rose Pine gets the ball back. and they get a 3rd and 7 conversion via penalty, I think a pass interference. They had a chance, man, on a little double move to Jacob Norris, just missed him on a touchdown, so they punt again. But again, it's still 13-6 here, well into the second quarter, 2.5 minutes left in the game. Rose Pine gets it back after Grand Lake turns it over on downs. They get an incompletion. Rose Pine punts, and then right before the half, Rose Pine gets a interception. Josh Robinson, for some reason, instead of letting the quarterback, who's got a pretty good arm, they try some trickeration and let the running back, McFarland, make a throw, and he's obviously a running back. He throws an interception on a halfback pass. So the half ends. Rose Pine gets it out of the break and takes half the quarter up, unfortunately, on 4th and 5. They're stopped. So they force Grand Lake gets the ball. They force a punt. So, again, 13-6 still very much alive in the game. A couple of punts in a row. Then Rose Pine gets a big play here on defense again. Carson Broussard gets a fumble recovery after Grand Lake takes over at their own 27. They fumble. So Rose Pine gets it back with 3 minutes left in the quarter. They start on Grand Lake's 30. They capitalize on the short field. Barrett Cootie converts 3rd down. And Devin Denise, for the second time in the game, scores from 2 yards out this time. And then before they could go for 2 to try to tie it, they have a penalty. So instead of starting a little bit closer, they back up the penalty yardage. They still convert it. Me and Coach Grande at this point are calling out the plays for Coach Gardner. Either that or he was listening.
Somebody was tuned in.
He was tuned in and just telling, just relaying the message because Austin Lonsberry was open a couple of times, and they found him on the 2-point play, and they'd find him again a little bit later. So tied up with 10:53 left in the fourth. So that drive goes all the way into the fourth quarter, and they capitalize on the turnover. So, again, place is rocking. Momentum's clearly in Rose Pine's favor. So after they get it tied, Grand Lake takes over with good field position at their own 44. And then kind of another wacky play. It was a near interception by Cheney over on the near sideline. Tried to jump the route. Well, Vasquez makes the catch, so Cheney kind of misses the interception attempt. So Vasquez is running a long ways. Breaks a couple of tackles. He's well into Rose Pine territory. And Broussard strips the football out. I've watched it back on film. Just a great hustle play, man. He trails the play and literally rips the ball out. Caleb Priest falls on it for the recovery. So Rose Pine's got the football with 8 minutes and 43 seconds left, tied, looking to go ahead. They drive it down. They start from their own 24. Again, Grand Lake was well into Rose Pine territory, but they turn it over on downs. They get it to a 4th and 2. Again, Lonsberry gets a big 20-plus yard catch to get them deep into Grand Lake territory. But on the 4th and 2, they had a penalty. So back to it, 4th and 7. They ultimately turned it over on downs. That was with 4:56 left. Then this is when Grand Lake was able to kind of get it going. Yeah, they finally score again for the first time since 5:15 left in the first quarter. Grand Lake scores a touchdown. They score on a 16-yard run by the quarterback, J.J. LeBeau. Extra point was good. So with 2:32 left, Grand Lake leads by 7. Again, Rose Pine's going to get the football back with a chance. They throw a flag. Again, this is when you kind of got to chuckle. Coach Grande, I thought I was going to have to save him from jumping on the field. Had a pass interference at midfield. He didn't see the flag come out. I saw the flag come out immediately. So that moves the drive. That extends the drive. And then the dagger, 40-yard interception return for a touchdown by Lawrence Falk, basically ended the game. So Grand Lake scores twice in a minute after being tied and not scoring since the first quarter. They win 28-14 after that. Rose Pine turns it over on downs. Grand Lake kneels out the clock. So a couple of touchdowns for Devin Janice. Keelan Vasquez, 2 touchdowns. The quarterback LeBeau had 1, and Lawrence Falk had the game-winning interception, which, by the way, we got a message from his dad on Facebook on the West Central page. He was tuned in. He had to work the night shift, and he said he really appreciated us, being able to do this for him because, again, his son was out there and had an interception return for a touchdown. We told him we appreciate that, so I thought that was pretty cool because,
cool deal.
Again, I kind of put 2 and 2 together and saw his last name was Falk and was like, well, is that your son? He said, yeah, it was. I said, all right. Well, unfortunately for Rose Pine, he does intercept the ball and take it all the way, but, man, they get down 14-0. With 5 minutes left in the first quarter. You're probably thinking the same thing I was. This game's about to be a blowout. We might get out of here early. But the fact that Grand Lake scores, as far as game time, they score in total, about 7 minutes there. and then a 2-minute window here. So for 9 minutes of the 48, that's all the points Grand Lake scored. So 39 minutes of play they didn't score out of the 48. And Rose Pine had 4 turnovers. They didn't turn the ball over until the last 2.5 minutes of the game, and so they were +4 at that moment, and they held Grand Lake out of the end zone for 39 minutes.
Yeah,
it's a kind of a weird game, because you would think, well, they probably should have blown them out, but they didn't. And Grand Lake also scores on offense, defense, and special teams. Like kind of just a weird game when you throw all the stats out there, and not to mention the 15 minutes we had.
You'd have thought we'd have been in October, not September.
Yeah, but look, like we said, with all that being said, it was a pretty good effort, man, by Rose Pine, and it's just the little things.
Yeah.
A penalty on 4th and 2 that turned into a 4th and 7. Like that's
penalties will kill you.
That's going to crush it. They had several that just kind of crushed the drive. Weren't able to execute in those situations, and it's the little things like attention to detail. Like lining up right. We talked about it with the Saints. The week before. Like you got to be able to line up. You got those are.
And we're talking about paid professionals there.
That's and again totally different, but it's the same kind of attention to detail because that's what makes the good teams good and the bad teams bad and the great teams really great. Like. You had a 4th and 2 with the ball, with 5 minutes left in the game. If you get that, you're moving it on, and you've got a chance to win the game.
4th and 2 seems more manageable as opposed to 4th and 7.
It is, and we saw the Eagles get into the, get it under center a lot this week, and that worked. They ran the football well. They did not run it as well in the second half as they did the first half, and that's back-to-back weeks, actually. I was going to look back as far as yards per carry. That could be a lot of fatigue up front as well. They kind of maybe get worn down. Or that could be, hey, we're going to just – because the receivers weren't able to kind of get some separation like they were last week. That could be a little bit of that. Like, hey, we're going to make you beat us over the top. That could have been a good adjustment by Grand Lake. But like I said, they had a chance, man. They had a chance with the football late to after being down 14-0 with, like we said – and looking like running clock, they get in there and grind it out. They force the turnovers on some really good individual efforts. The Cheney interception was him literally chasing the play, ripping the ball out. The Broussard strip, he's trailing the play. He runs 20 yards before he can get a hand on the receiver. They made some really good individual efforts and, just come up a little short. That's just how it goes. And, look, it's not going to get any easier. Again, you play – Grand Lake this week, who's probably, they've won, or this past week, they've won 7 or more games in 6 years in a row. Probably going to do the same. They're 2-0 now. You played Westlake the week before, who looks like they're kind of figuring some stuff out. They're 2-0. Well, you go to Kinder this week, and they're 2-0, and they can score it with anybody. So it ain't going to be easier. They switched that game to Thursday. Again, much to the chagrin of everyone in Rose Pine. I get it. That's 3 of the 4 you played Thursday night. I saw some people questioning why. Well, for one,
talked about this.
The official shortage is one reason. So if you've complained to the officials and kind of shown your butt at the games and gotten thrown out, well, you could probably be to blame for that.
Yeah.
Because if there were more officials, we'd have games on Friday. I think we played in my 4 years maybe, less than 10 games on a Thursday, and a couple of times was Maryville because they didn't have school on Friday, so we'd play or fair.
Well, and then remember last year we had the Saturday game.
Yeah, and that was because of the weather.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about
you just mean in general
with Friday games. That's because we had plenty of officials.
Yeah,
it's gotten worse. Nobody wants to do this job because of what happens on the field. Yeah, and in the stands.
Can you blame them? Yeah,
and I can't. I don't blame them. So. Maybe be a little bit nicer for one, and you'd have every Friday.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works.
Nope.
And, they make do. Yeah. Does that kind of give you the short end of the stick as far as preparation? Well, yeah, obviously you get less day. But it is what it is. That's where we're at. Mm-hmm. And like I said, you're not going to find anybody that is less of a fan of officiating than me at times. But at this level, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Those people have other jobs, as we see during basketball season. I know quite a few of them. that they do this in their spare time, because if they didn't, we wouldn't have games at all.
Yep.
So, yeah, I get the frustration about playing again on Thursday, but that's a reason why. So, if you know anybody, sign them up.
Sign them up.
Yeah, we know a guy.
Yeah.
He can get you in touch. Now, he's not in charge of football refs, but he probably knows a guy that knows a guy.
Yeah.
So, again, like it is what it is. Yes, there are other teams in the area who don't play as many Thursday night games as you. That's just the nature of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just where we're at right now. So, Rose Pine's back at it.
Could be a location also.
Yep.
Where the teams are located.
Yep, exactly. And again, they're not going to be in the same area
like
as us.
A Leesville team might have officials from the Alexandria Association.
There you go. And look, that's just me ranting for like 2 minutes, but I felt like that needed to be said because a lot of people are mad, and it's not singling anyone out.
No.
Like, it is what it is. Like, that, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you know, and they don't do this, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but they're not going to put Edna Carr and American Heritage on a Thursday night.
No.
Okay, those guys are getting
They're Friday night.
Friday
yeah,
nights,
they're getting the Friday night. They're like, you get what you get at the end, and it is what it is. Because I can promise you, Coach Justin Reed at Kinder doesn't want to play on Thursday either.
No.
So there's just a lot of factors in, and the main one is the official.
It doesn't
shortage.
help either team.
No, but Rose Pine does drop to 0-2 again. Like I said, man, had a chance, just came up short. Like had the ball with a chance to take the lead a couple of times, and again, just a couple little things. But man, just much improved. I mean, last year they got shut out in this game, and you know, they came out and played against a group that they've got a lot of sophomores out there, but the Grand Lake team's got some pretty good athletes. You know, a lot of the skill guys were seniors and upperclassmen, but I thought again that game, a couple plays here and there could have went either way.
It was also, wasn't it Military Appreciation Night?
It was Military Appreciation Night out there.
They had your favorite uniforms.
It's hard to see those,
Yeah.
man, like that camouflage. So now we move to the game where I almost died of heat exhaustion. DeRidder, Manny. Look, DeRidder 1-0. Manny was 1-0. Manny winless the year before, so they matched. They'd already exceeded their win total from a year ago.
They do the fireworks and all that?
They did. It wasn't as long.
Okay.
I've been there, and they just shoot them off for like 3 straight minutes. It was about maybe 20 seconds,
Yeah.
you know. And daylight, dark, it doesn't matter. Like, they still do it. But look, this is another game where we saw a couple guys go down. Last week, I talked to Coach Parmley before the game, and I asked him, you know, how everything was, and you know, I guess the injuries last week, you know, kind of a bummer. I saw Connor sitting out there in a boot. I saw a couple other people were in boots. Like I said, you could have opened a medical supply store and made a pretty good bit of money there if you just sell medical equipment. He was down 2 punters.
Wow.
So I asked him,
That's
who's
got to be
punting.
a first.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something, like I said, high school football, you don't have any punters usually.
No.
Like you have a punter or a kicker, and it's usually like your best athlete. You put him out there, you know, and that's what they did. You know, they had Connor out there at one point. Aaron Woods was the backup. Well, he was out too. They played quite a bit of sophomores. I want to say at least 10 at some point in the game. But they start with the football. Manny deferred. They get it. They punt the ball, I believe. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't see here. They punted the ball. Manny gets it on a 3rd and 11. They run a 50, 60-yard run, but DeRidder ultimately stops it. A great play call, actually, by Manny. The Hendrickson kid just hit the hole and went for days, and that would be a theme as the night went on. DeRidder punts. Manny gets it back in the first quarter, about halfway through, 5 minutes left. One play, 46 yards. Daniel Thomas, he did it all the week before. He picked up right where he left off, a little toss play to the near side. The extra point was good, but right after the next play, Javon Fairley, who had 4 touchdowns in week 1, bust one for 65 yards. And I went back and watched the replay, man, nobody touched him. Like, it was great. So I thought we were going to be into a track meet. And then on the next drive is when it all kind of went awry for DeRidder. Javon's playing defense on a 3rd down. Ball kind of flutters up. Mm-hmm. You see him go down. He tries to change direction. Non-contact injury on turf. I actually haven't talked to Coach Parmley, and I was going to text him. Not on Saturday, obviously, probably just because, again, like it's, you had guys going down left and right, but he didn't come back in. You saw it. It didn't look good.
Yeah, he immediately grabbed his knee.
He was down for what?
Like
about
2 minutes?
2 or 3 minutes
Yeah.
for sure. He didn't come back in, and you could just tell the body language from the sideline. Because at that point, it was 7-7, and DeRidder's right back in it. And then they get the football after, because again the ball falls incomplete on that play that he gets hurt on, so they force the punt. Well, DeRidder gets the football at their own 30, high snap. Manny recovers it for a touchdown. Extra point gets blocked, but 13-7 right there. And then it's just back-to-back plays, actually. Fumble, and then the interception. They throw an interception the next play. Manny gets it back, and they move the football into the second quarter, and they throw an interception. Daniel Mazik gets one for the second week in a row. So you're thinking, DeRidder's kind of hanging in there at this point. But Manny, right before the half, they score again on a reverse. It was a nice little play. So they go up 19-7. A couple more punts. Manny fumbles late in the second quarter. DeRidder has a short field. They don't gain a yard. They actually lose 3 yards. They miss a field goal by I'd probably say about 5 yards. They try a 41-yarder.
He had the leg.
Yeah, it was a pretty good attempt. And they just couldn't get anything going after that. And then we said that was the big. They needed a big play, and they got the turnover with a short field. It was 19-7 at the break, and then Manny just kind of opened it up. Daniel Thomas, another big run. Hendrickson has a touchdown again. DeRidder just couldn't get anything going. I mean, they ran the ball a lot. Jaden Cooper had a good game. He ran hard. There just wasn't much there after Javon goes down.
It is like when he went last week, when he went down last week, and him and the running back, is like they could rally then, but
yeah, you saw multiple guys stepping in week one, but then when one of those guys that stepped in week one goes down,
I guess it's
who's left.
I guess it's the type of injury that it was the scare that everybody the breath holding.
Yeah, it was
anticipation.
It didn't look good, man. And like I said, hopefully he's okay because, I mean, you could tell.
They ain't gonna need him.
He, when he scored, he didn't get touched, and that was one play, 65 yards. You're thinking, man, we might have ourselves a shootout here because the way they had kind of been able to move him around the formation a couple of times on the previous drives. They missed a couple touchdown passes. This wasn't all just a complete blowout. Like DeRidder could have been in this game, but they weren't. And especially when he went down, that completely kind of took the wind out of the sails of the Dragons. But man, look, and that's tough because they get it within 16 in the third quarter,
right?
31-15, and there's again 2.5 minutes left in the third. You got a quarter left. But the next play is a 61-yard touchdown run, Thomas. I mean, credit Manny because they do not want to throw the ball, like we said it. They didn't have to. And then the one time they did was late in the game when it was 37-21. They had a chance on third and long to stop Manny, and they hit a play over the top. Nobody was there. I mean, so they just kind of lull you to sleep and get you to sell out. And, I mean, man, there was nobody within probably 10 yards of the receiver on that.
If one thing I do remember from the great Robert Causey at Leesville, he always said, keep your eyes off the quarterback.
Yeah.
Stuff like that will happen.
Especially when you're kind of desperate, right, to make
at
a
that
play.
point, you're just looking for something.
They were trying to sell out, and it was 3rd and 11, and when that happened, there was 8 minutes left.
But that's situational awareness. It's 3rd and 11. You know they're not going to run the ball. You know you need 11 yards to get.
They cut it to 16 again after the 31-15. It was 37-21, and they, 3rd and 11. You're thinking we can still get this with 7 minutes left. And they sold out and Manny burned them, and that was it. Pretty much 43-21 final. They add one on late, 49-21. Like we said. It's been a totally different looking Manny team through 2 weeks than it was last week. A couple of those guys, Thomas, Hendrickson, were both hurt last year about halfway through, so that makes it worse. They look physical on defense.
Number 5.
Yeah, man. Hendrickson was all over the field. The Oxley kid at corner had a great game. I mean, he was really physical. Number 6. They just look like a team that they did a couple years ago when that went to the dome several times in quarters and semis, and they play that physical style on the edge and let you be able to attack. And I said it on the air plenty of times. Like, they get away with some stuff out there, but
there wasn't a flag until the third quarter.
Yeah, we did not have a flag, Mike. Yeah, that's right. We had, and maybe had less than 5 the whole game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a flag thrown until in the first half.
Should have made for good timing.
Yeah, it did. Again, we had the clock working this week. We had the scoreboard. We just didn't have AC. So this week, the Tigers. Well, I guess we can talk about both of them because again, this kind of segues into our next games. DeRidder 1-1. Look, more importantly for them is health. Man, they just got to get healthy. It's not getting any easier this week. They go to Newton, which that game last year was, it was a shootout at home.
Wasn't it like 40-something?
It was in the 40s.
Yeah, it was in the 40s.
I remember we were doing a game in Jennings, and I turned it on, and 10 seconds had passed. They had scored, and then we flipped over because we went back on air, and then we had a stoppage, so we flipped back really quick, and they'd scored again. Yeah. So that, you may have to do it with a shortened deck of cards this week on offense, but it's going to be tough. You go on the roads. It's a pretty good program. Actually, hadn't started watching the film on that yet, but that's DeRidder's next game, and then a couple more, and you're into district just like that. So they're 1-1. It's going to be tough this week, but that should be a fun game there. I was told they got a brand new press box and all that stuff too. So that's what I was told this summer. Well, that's what I was going to say. If they don't have AC and it's
Derrick's
brand new,
like, I'm not coming.
Somebody has to be fired if there's no AC and a brand new press box, because I'm going to just tell you right now, there is none in the Manny press box.
Mike may be solo if there's.
Yeah, I don't want to see him. And look,
I'll be there. I'll just be in the stands underneath.
And Mr. Isles. And Mr. Isles, I thought we were going to lose him for a second to heat exhaustion there. I thought he was going to pass out on me. At one point, he was sitting down, not even watching. It was so hot in there. I asked him about a play one time, and they were down on the end to my right. And if you've been in that press box, you can't really see down.
Yeah, you have to move. You got
to at least stand up and look and crane your neck. And one time I asked him what he thought, and he said, "I can't see anything."
I'm just being honest.
He was sitting down. He'd had enough, and I don't blame him. It was hot in there.
His prediction was off.
Yeah, he had made a prediction at half. I got that up here too. Yeah, so at halftime it was 19-7. He made a prediction at half, 21-19 Dragons. Well, Manny scores 3 minutes in, so prediction is gone before we can even get to the hydration break in the third quarter.
Y'all needed a hydration break.
We needed a hydration break.
We would have, but there was 3 lines at the concession stand.
So we even run a guy, and he's like, "It's too long." I just know when we walked out of there, it was 76 degrees when I got in my car. But it felt like 56 when I walked out of that press box. It felt like October, Mike. I'm not joking. Getting out of there, I was in a dry fit T-shirt, and it was soaking wet when I got home. It was bad. Face, I've got. I mean,
this is. Would have saw you come in.
This is sweat right here dripping on my paper, and that was the opening drive. I wrote my headline, and there's sweat on it. So that wasn't even late in the game. That was right when we started. That's how hot it was in there. But. We don't have to go there again. I told him if I did, I would refuse. And
or you could have just do the game from the stand.
I will next time. Actually, I said it when we went the last time. It was 25 degrees, but it didn't matter because we were bundled up. So the insulation or not didn't matter. Trapping in cold, we can just bundle up. Well, not now, man. But the Dragons go to Newton. As for Manny, we'll actually see them this week right here on the Game of the Week. We'll have them and the Wampus Cats from Wampus Cats Stadium. Look, Leesville had Tioga last week. Started watching a little bit of that. Ooh. And it got ugly fast, but Leesville had opportunities. They got a turnover early in that game, to keep Tioga out of the end zone. They went for it on a fourth down. There's a couple of things they didn't execute on, but the tackling wasn't good. And look, you're going to have to tackle well because Manny runs the ball. They want to run the football. I got a feeling Coach Causey, you played for him.
Yeah. He's not going to let you.
Y'all probably worked on tackling.
That was emphasized this week.
Would you say if you had a game where you didn't tackle very well, that was probably all y'all did the next week? It was probably get in pads and tackle.
Or run.
Run, yeah.
We're running.
Yeah. But again, they had a couple of things to get away from them, and it was over before it started, really, at the half. It was about, I think, 28-0 at the half. And they able to get some points late. But they had some chances down there. They just weren't able to capitalize. A couple of deep balls. Like I said, I'm still going through the film there. But they're 0-2. They got a team coming in that's 2-0, and Manny's looked really good. So it's not going to be easy. This game was very easy last year for them.
Yep.
They showed up, got what they needed to do, got out of there healthy, and let the backups get in there. But this one's going to be a little bit tougher. But again, you can hear that one right here on today's Country 105.7.
You'll probably be fine solo for that.
It's possible, yeah. I just know there's AC in there. So
that's all that matters, right?
May get former basketball coach turned vice principal in the booth for a little bit. He said he's got to do admin duties now. So stay tuned for that one. Still waiting on a roster, but he's working on that as well. But again, that will be our game this week. Like I said, Rose Pines at Kinder on Thursday. Maryville goes to LaSalle. The Quincy's at Oberlin. South Bow goes to Buckeye. I made that trip one time our senior year. That's not a fun trip, but just nothing to see up there.
Buckeye.
Yeah. Pickering's at Northwood Lena. Speaking of far trips, Crowley's at East Bow. Again, DeRidder travels to Newton. That one will be on 95.7 KROK. And then, again, our game here, Manny, at Leesville. When we come back, we'll talk college football. LSU's 3-0. Defense is awesome. Offense got a lot of question marks, but we'll try to figure that out. You're listening to the Gridiron Gumbo Show on today's Country 105.7.
Join us Friday night for the high school football game of the week as the Leesville Wampus Cats host the Manny Tigers. Kickoff 7 o'clock. Join Sean Larken for the call of the game. The high school football game of the week is brought to you in part by Representative Chuck Owen, McKee Agency, Barksdale Federal Credit Union, Thrifty Way Pharmacy, Acadian Ambulance, Sabine River Authority, Hickory Smokehouse, Rethink Title, Weaver Motors, Kirbyville, Vernon Parish Community Health Center, Champion Homes, Benoit Motors, West Louisiana Dental. It's Leesville, it's Manny. Friday night, 7 o'clock. It's the high school football game of the week on today's Country 105.7. Mid-South Forestry Equipment in Manny, formerly Patrick Miller Tractor, would like you to know that we're still providing the same great service that our customers have come to depend on. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to the community is still the same. We look forward to continuing to service all your Tiger Cat, Kubota, Land Pride, and Bad Boy needs. Stop in and say hi or give us a call at 318-256-5686 for more information. That's Mid-South Forestry Equipment in Manny, formerly Patrick Miller Tractor.
Gina Choctaw Pines Casino, your place for fun.
Looking for some excitement? Come push our buttons and get paid.
Gina Choctaw Pines Casino, your place for fun.
Must be 21.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Gumbo Show here on today's Country 105.7. Still got that heat exhaustion there. And I was trying to read my paper presented by Mid-South Forestry Equipment and Gina Choctaw Pines Casino. Say that three times fast. Sean Larken, Derrick Lee, Mike Holt with you. We've ran through the high school portion of our show, and now we flip to college football. We said it last week on the show. LSU's going to have to do a little bit better offensively and running the ball. Well, they actually didn't, unless, according to Coach Kelly, you missed the last play of the game.
Yeah, one time.
One play, they ran really well. But it didn't matter because we also said that Florida was going to have a really tough time scoring. And
they did.
Again, defense wins championships, as they say. It's a fun, it's a fun adage to make fun of. But, man, there's something about watching a defense that's like elite.
Yeah.
It's almost as fun, if not more fun, than watching an offense just go up and down the field because
they're having fun.
The defense can also score.
Yeah.
And that's what happened the other night with LSU. Look, DJ Lagway's a good quarterback. There was a segment on College Game Day with Nick Saban breaking it down. I don't know if y'all watched, but he basically said DJ Lagway's going to have no idea what he's seeing tonight. Like that's to put it into just bland
somebody
terms.
That knows,
It got so detailed that Kirk Herbstreit kept trying to make him explain what he was talking about, and he just kept getting mad at him, like, "Shut up, dude! I'm cooking here." Like, that's basically what happened. Like, Herbstreit kept like, "Well, we explain what that means to the audience," and like, he wasn't having it. He was just like breaking this down.
If you get it, you get it.
And that's what makes him so good on the show now. Like, I didn't think when he was hired that he would be good at this.
Great.
He is great, and it's because of things like this.
It.
He said DJ Lagway has no idea what's coming tonight, and he was right. He looked awful.
Yeah.
There were a couple of the interceptions. He had 5 interceptions. He should have had about 8. I mean, Harold Perkins had one that hit him, on the side, kind of when he was changing direction. Deshaun Spears could have had 3.
Yeah.
He could have thrown 8 interceptions the other night. He threw 5, and one of them went the other way for a score. But LSU wins 20-10. They moved to 3-0. Florida's in trouble. But look, this defense, man, we said it. They were going to have trouble scoring. LSU punted one time after they didn't get, again, a 3rd and 1 because they can't run the ball very well. They punted on a 3rd and 1 when the game was still, I want to say it was 20-10, but there was still a lot of time left because their defense was so good, and the guy pinned it inside the 5. Like, again, defense and special teams can win a championship just like offense can. And shout out to Grant Chadwick. If you didn't know who that was, that's LSU's punter. Last year, I heard this on the post game on my ride home with Hunt Palmer and them. LSU out of 130 last year was ranked 124th in punt yard average. Wow. 39 a game, 39 per punt. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
They averaged 51 yards a punt on Saturday. They had 4 inside the 20. I want to say, I don't want to give you fake news here, but I want to say they had 1 punt, I think, all of last year go inside the 10, I think. I think they had 2 last on Saturday.
And didn't last year they not technically have a special teams coordinator? Like, they had somebody that was...
Yeah, because I want to say they had McMahon that was there for a long time long time Saints, long time coach. He came in the year before that was
someone was doing double duty last year.
Look, that position has been upgraded, man. He was awesome. 7 punts, almost 51 yards a punt. But you could do that because your defense was ridiculous. They couldn't run the ball. They obviously couldn't throw the ball. They threw the ball to us a lot. Deshaun Spears, that guy had played 13 snaps before Saturday. Mm-hmm. He has 2 interceptions and a touchdown. A.J. Halsey continues to be good. TaMarcus Cooley gets an interception. I watched a couple of times DJ Pickett. This guy was... At this time last year, DJ Pickett was like getting ready for homecoming. I'm sure he was going to homecoming with like he was trying to go with a hottie or something, right? Number 1 player in the country. He's probably, hey, let me get. This dude was in high school last year. They don't even look over in his direction. Yeah. Like, if I'm a quarterback and I'm a pretty good one, I'm going to pick on the freshman, right? Because I've played this for a year. I've seen a lot of stuff. Man, there were times the other day, I just would, like, watch him. Like, they don't even look over there. Like, this dude is 18 years old.
Wow.
And he gets an interception late, which I don't know what at that point DJ Lagway was doing. He was, like, reversing one side and just kind of threw it up. And, it wasn't even that because it didn't go far. It, like, went across the field. Then he threw one in triple coverage that was just awful. Like, I'm not sure what he was seeing there. That one was an arm punt, but at that time, you didn't need it. It felt like a lot of times in this game, like, LSU was up 13-10 for a long time, but it felt like we were losing. I turned to the guy next to me and was like, it feels like we're losing this game by double digits, and it's 13-10. But another stat that was ridiculous, Florida in time of possession, there's 60 minutes in a football game, right? Florida had it for 38 minutes. In the second half, Florida had the football on offense for 21 of the 30 minutes. Wow. Like, this, if you see a defense on the field for a long time, what happens? They usually get worn down. And eventually
the play will break.
Yeah, eventually they break. Dude, they were on the field the entire game. And this is what you got. Yeah. Like, there was never a moment where you're like, yeah, this is probably going to eventually cave in.
They're getting tired.
They're getting tired. They didn't get tired because Deshaun Spears is the third safety, and he's out there getting picked.
The third safety.
Yeah, like, that guy had 13 snaps in 2 games. He had 9 the other night. 9. And he had 2 interceptions and a touchdown in 9 plays. The guy was on the field for 9 plays. Like, that's the difference in this defense in the last 4 or 5 years. Like, when you're able to shuffle those guys in and they make plays, it seems like anybody that gets put on the field in this defense makes plays for Blake Baker. He may not be around very long, LSU fans. It's not this guy's going to be a head coach very soon.
Yep.
Another thing, this defense was on the field basically the entire game without arguably the best linebacker in the country. Whitweeks goes down because of a targeting penalty in the first, second drive of the game.
So he'll be out the first half?
No, he's done because it was in the first half.
Okay.
So he'll be back for Southeastern regardless. They don't need him.
Gotcha.
But he's out, and you're thinking, well, this is going to be bad. Devon Key steps in, man. He has 14 tackles. Like, anybody, plug him in. Like, we played all 3 of the Weeks brothers.
Plug you in. I mean,
put a Weeks in.
Yeah.
Put Derrick in. Mike, go out there.
Yeah.
Like, these dudes they're ridiculous, man. Like, it's pretty impressive. However, again, it wasn't all great because Brian Kelly did have in his interview, in his post-game interview, he did say something like, what, are we supposed to win every game by 70?
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's absurd, right? Like, but
great.
Man, when you get 5 turnovers, you got to have some more points on offense, right? Like, you got to be able to just add on and make this game over. And LSU's had issues.
Your offense would have been great. You'd have won by a lot more.
Yeah, you would have won by 70. With 5 turnovers, you do win by 70. But the offense had as many touchdowns as the defense did.
Yeah.
Look, the struggles are still there. We're not going to stay on it too long because we did it last week. You just can't get a yard in short yardage. I mean, the opening drive was a 3rd and 2, and you get stoned.
Like you said last week, like pulling teeth.
Yes, and it was. Like, it's still like that. Caden Durham's stat line looked great because of the 51-yard run at the end of the game. Other than that, LSU's, I think, 21 carries for, 40-something yards before that play.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good enough. Xavion Thomas did have a receiving touchdown. And then, again, this is a couple of weeks now where Garrett Nussmeier hasn't looked great. Well, it comes out the other day in the press conference that he's dealing with a torso injury. That's fine. I'm glad that's what it is, because if that's what it is, then that means he's going to obviously get healthy and get better, because it hadn't looked great. Like,
we talked about this before the show. Why do you have to wait till the bye week to sit him?
Yeah, and we've got Southeastern coming up this Saturday.
Yeah.
I say him this week.
On SC Network at 6:45.
Yeah.
Southeastern. It's not Ole Miss.
Nope.
It's Southeastern. No disrespect to the Lions. Love going to Hammond every year, Mike. He's not playing that game if I'm the head coach this Saturday.
You don't need him.
No.
I'll give him the first.
I don't even. Why? He doesn't need. Because what happens if he gets? You know he's got a torso injury now.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Right? You're LSU. You've got guys capable of going to win you one game, and you shouldn't have to.
Let's see what you got in Van Buren.
Yeah, Van Buren's a transfer, came over. Just see what he's got. Yeah. Because not to look ahead, but you don't really know what you got next year.
Nope.
You could have an idea. Maybe your quarterback's not in the building. Maybe he is. He's not playing for me this week if I'm the head coach, and I'm not. So he's, may play.
You wouldn't be here if you were.
No, I wouldn't be doing this. I would actually. Well, it's tomorrow is the coach's show, right? With TJ Ribs, right? Yeah. So, there's no reason to play him, especially with this defense playing like it is. You can do enough to just kind of get through this week and focus on Ole Miss, which they announced earlier yesterday. I believe that game will be at 2:30 next week in Oxford. So
ABC, I believe.
Yeah. So you've got a really big game coming up, but man. What a job by the defense and special teams. That's two of the 3 phases you look awesome in and get it done.
You're probably, I haven't looked, probably top 10 at this point?
You've got to be. You've given up, 10?
17.
10, 7, and 10.
And 10.
And that's, that's pretty impressive in today's college football when we've got, A&M and Notre Dame, 41-40.
Clemson's 0-2. So
Clemson's bad. They're 1-2.
Or 1-2.
Should be 0-3. But man, it feels good to when that pick six when Spears took that pick six back. By the way, pretty cool, man. It's a denim spring skid, right up the road. Gets a chance, takes it to the house. That place went nuts, man. It was pretty cool. He jumped the route and just off to the races. Place goes nuts. Great tailgate. Campus was awesome.
I saw some pictures from the tailgate.
Yeah, like we ate great.
Yeah.
Had 2 alligators. Ate them. Ate a lot, man. A lot. But it feels good, man, when your defense can go in there and you're not worried about what happens on offense because you know those dudes are just going to lock down. And that's what happened. So LSU gets a 3-0 Southeastern this week. We'll go ahead and get into our college picks, and then we'll – actually, you know what? We'll take a break, come back, final segment, and do our picks. You're listening to the Gridiron Gumbo Show on today's Country 105.7.
Mid-South Forestry Equipment in Manny, formerly Patrick Miller Tractor, would like you to know that we're still providing the same great service that our customers have come to depend on. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to the community is still the same. We look forward to continuing to service all your Tiger Cat, Kubota, Land Pride, and Bad Boy needs. Stop in and say hi or give us a call at 318-256-5686 for more information. That's Mid-South Forestry Equipment in Manny, formerly Patrick Miller Tractor.
Gina Choctaw Pines Casino, your place for fun.
Looking for some excitement? Come push our buttons and get paid.
Gina Choctaw Pines Casino, your place for fun.
Must be 21.
Join us Friday night for the high school football game of the week as the Leesville Wampus Cats host the Manny Tigers. Kickoff 7 o'clock. Join Sean Larken for the call of the game. The high school football game of the week is brought to you in part by Representative Chuck Owen, McKee Agency, Barksdale Federal Credit Union, Thrifty Way Pharmacy, Acadian Ambulance, Sabine River Authority, Hickory Smokehouse, Rethink Title, Weaver Motors, Kirbyville, Vernon Parish Community Health Center, Champion Homes, Benoit Motors, West Louisiana Dental. It's Leesville, it's Manny. Friday night, 7 o'clock. It's the high school football game of the week on today's Country 105.7.
Our final segment of the Gridiron Gumbo Show. Sean Larken, Derrick Lee, Mike Holt with you here in studio. Again, LSU's awesome. Their defense rules. We move to the NFL, the National Football League, where Saints are 0-2, 2 straight losses at home, 2 straight close losses. Not close enough to cover the spread, however, as we'll get into that. But look, man, there's things there that you got chances to win.
They're playing hard.
They're playing hard. It's just when you're a bad team,
you're bad.
You're not like so. When teams suck and you're like, oh, their defense is terrible. 2012, Saints had the worst defense ever in the the Bounty Gate year.
Was that Rob Ryan?
That was Spags, actually, who apparently now is the best defensive coordinator ever.
Yeah.
Hey,
but
live and you learn.
That's it. Well, he was good before that too. So just sandwiched in there, he was bad. But like we knew that the Saints defense was bad, right? Like we can fix that.
Yeah.
Like they suck, they're bad, okay. But like when you lose games, like some teams that are just really bad and young, like it's this one week, it's this the next. So you really can't like put a finger on what's bad. And that's just how it was. Like we said at week 1, the defense was pretty good, offense was okay. This week, man, the defense didn't look great. They couldn't get off the field on third downs. They gave up third and longs. It seemed like a lot. 8 for 15 on third downs total. But I told you this before we went on the air, Mike. The Saints aren't losing games. The Saints aren't 0-2 because of Spencer Rattler.
No.
25 of 34, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
You got to catch the ball. I mean,
the 25 of 34 could have been about 29 of 34, yes. 30 of 34.
I mean, right too, guys, in the numbers. I mean,
you got to help the guy out, man.
Yeah.
And look, we're wanting to see the quarterback play be great, but it doesn't have to be great. It's just got to be good enough.
Yeah.
And we're also talking about like a 5th-round draft pick here. You look at throughout the league, you've got, obviously he's hurt right now, but like Joe Burrow was 1-1.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels was pick 2. Justin Herbert was a top 5 pick. Patrick Mahomes was top 10, first round.
Yeah.
There aren't a whole lot of second-round draft picks
that
are starting in the NFL. So this guy's a 5th-round draft pick. You're getting pretty good value out of what you got.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. He misses on a couple throws low. He had a touchdown on the first drive where Blake Groupie can't miss field goals.
Yeah, what's up with
Second
field goals
straight
this
week
year?
indoors, can't miss field goal. Didn't miss one all preseason or training camp except when it was raining. It was from 50 plus.
Yeah,
can't miss field goals. Not from there. Not from 35 yards in. But on that same drive, he had Chris Olave. Threw it a little bit behind him, had him in the end zone.
And you talked about Chris Olave. You think he's kind of maybe checked out?
Yeah, and like I said, I don't want to be on the air just commenting on a guy who I don't, saying he's not giving effort.
Yeah.
There's the body language don't look
body
good.
language.
On a couple of the drops, he had a drop. One time on third down, he's running a crossing route, and he just catches it and falls down. That's he had wide open space.
Yeah.
And he's not the only one. Juwan Johnson makes a great touchdown catch this week. Drops the first 3.
Yep.
Can't hang on to the one last week. Rashid Shaheed was awesome. Mm-hmm. And you go back and look at some of the all 22 of these throws by Spencer. Man, some of them are ridiculous. Yeah. Like the throw to Shaheed on the sideline was like it was put like he dropped it in, walking to him and handing it there. The touchdown to Juwan was great.
Yeah.
Like some of these throws are really good. They're just losing because they're about 3 plays or a couple of playmakers away from being really good.
Offense or defense?
On both. Like just a handful. Like a handful of guys that could change a game.
And the penalties were not as bad as last week.
Yeah, they didn't have 15.
But you still had
7. You had 7, but you didn't have 15.
No.
But they didn't have a whole lot of legal procedure penalties.
Okay.
But like an impact guy, like on defense, like a Kyle Hamilton with the Ravens, like somebody like that, or a Patrick Surtain. They don't have that guy over there.
Yeah.
Or a guy that can flip a game on offense. Like, they've got Alvin Kamara.
But he's not how he used to be.
Yeah, and even though he's 21 yards on the ground, or 21 rushes, 99 yards, but they're not throwing it to him as much in the passing game.
Seemed like they gave it to him more this week.
They did.
Than last
They gave
week.
him 21 carries this week, and last week I think he had 12. Juwan, like I said, caught a touchdown. Devon Vele, who they traded for, caught a touchdown. The Kamara fumble was not a fumble, man. I'm sorry. That's a catch that he's bobbling on his helmet.
Yeah.
So he never has control. That actually was the first turnover of the season for the Saints offense. So, just from bad to worse there. Yeah. It's not getting any better this week. They go to Seattle. That's tough. One of the toughest places to play.
Offensive coordinator
Clint Kubiak. But that's a place that is tough to play.
Well, it's probably going to be raining.
12.
Yeah, 12
probably
man.
Be raining.
It's going to be raining. Probably going to be nasty. That game's at 3 o'clock on CBS. Seattle somehow goes and just dominates the Steelers the other day in Pittsburgh, which was weird.
Speaking of the Steelers, whoever is that kick returner who let the ball roll, okay, I see what his mind was at. Because, if you let it roll, okay, go roll out. You don't expect it to stop 2 yards before the end zone.
I just looked and they tied it up.
Yeah.
Then it was 31-17.
And then that kickoff.
Yeah, like that, the wheels fell off out there because I was in the dome. And I get out and I see that and I see whatever happened in Dallas. I mean,
crazy in Dallas.
My goodness.
Yeah.
But again, Saints go to Seattle. I don't expect them to win there.
No.
Then they go to Buffalo. I don't expect them to win there either.
You may not know. It may be a trap game.
Well, I thought the Jets would be a trap game for the Bills last week. It was like 30-6. So, but as we now move to our picks, because again, when I give you all these numbers, it wasn't great for me in the NFL this week. When I went back and looked, so last week I go 5-8, just abysmal. Like I said, 1-5 in the NFL. I got to do better. We'll look at the tape.
We'll listen back to the tape.
I was 4-3 in college. 13-13 overall. That's about as average as it gets. 8-6 in college, 5-7 in the NFL. Mike, you go 8-5, as do you, Derek. Mike 5-2 in college, 3-3 in the NFL, 15-11 overall for you. Derek, you go 4-3 in college, 4-2 in the NFL. Some notables in that we had again. Let's see, we had 1, 2, 3. We had underdogs. In college, we had 3 underdogs win outright. A&M beat Notre Dame outright. They were 6.5-point underdog. Vandy won at South Carolina, and Georgia Tech beat Clemson outright. Alabama covered, but it got real close, 20.5. Tennessee covered, but my God, they could have won the game. That poor kicker. But when I looked in his eyes, right when they were showing it, he was doing breathing exercises. Yeah. I turned to one of our friends at the tailgate. She's our friend too, but his wife graduated from there, from Georgia. And I told her, I said, this kid ain't making his field goal, and he did not come close. So Tennessee could have been our fourth underdog to win outright in college. In the NFL, Packers, man, they look like a wagon.
And you had Parsons to that defense.
Yes, they're just, man, they're going to be so good. Them and Philly could be a really fun NFC title game if it gets there. Seattle wins outright as an underdog. So does, at the time of this, the Eagles are a 1.5 point underdog. They actually flipped to a favorite. And then the Falcons on Sunday night, they just, J.J. McCarthy had no idea what was going on. If you're looking at the Saints, they're now 0-2 against the spread. Week 1, they were 6.5 point underdogs. They lose by 7. Last week, they were a 4.5 point underdog. They lose by 5. So now we move, and it's going to be interesting to see when I say they lose by 8 this week. But college, pretty good games this week. Not sure why game day goes to Miami, by the way. Texas Tech at Utah. Utah's a 3.5 point favorite. I'm taking the Utes. I've got them to win the Big 12.
I'm taking Texas Tech.
I got Utah.
All right. Auburn and Oklahoma, again, another option for game day. They decided to go to Miami. Oklahoma's a 6.5 point favorite over Auburn. I'm taking the Sooners. They look good.
I'm taking Auburn.
I'm taking Oklahoma.
I
can't trust Auburn.
No, for some reason, Oklahoma was at Temple and went for 2 on their opening touchdown drive. I don't know what they're doing there. Ole Miss has Tulane at home. Tulane just hammered Duke. Ole Miss is an 11.5 point favorite. I'm taking Tulane to cover the spread.
I'm taking Tulane.
Tulane, because even though Duke is a basketball school,
they've been decent. They had Darian Mensah. He got paid millions to go there.
That's so.
Leave Tulane. Michigan at Nebraska. Nebraska's a 2.5 point underdog at home against the Wolverines. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes' look-alike, and they're going to win, I think. Nebraska or Michigan?
Michigan.
I'm taking Nebraska. Pat McPartmans.
Yeah. Miami, 7.5 point favorite against Florida at home. This is not the week I picked Florida to win. It's coming soon, though.
Taking Miami.
I'm taking Miami to cover as well. Are you taking the Gators to cover or lose?
Yeah, Miami.
Miami, okay, all 3 across the board. Illinois at Indiana. Indiana's a 5.5 point favorite in this game. Again, another option for game day. I think Illinois covers the spread, possibly wins.
I like Illinois.
I like Illinois.
Well, okay, I'm
from Illinois, so
I'm not going to catch y'all this week, it appears. We talked about Lenore Sellers goes down. South Carolina goes to Missouri. Missouri looks good. They're getting 11.5. Do you think Missouri wins by 12?
Yes.
No. I don't think they do either. I think they win by 10. I just think South Carolina's going to probably try to rally. In the NFL, where I sucked really bad last week, Vikings have the Bengals at home without Joe Burrow. And Vikings are a 2.5 point favorite. I think the Bengals win the game outright.
I do too.
Don't know why.
Bengals by a field goal.
All right. Rams at Eagles. Eagles are a 3.5 point favorite over Sean McVay. This is a rematch of the NFC divisional round of last year.
Which was a great game, by the
way. It was, and it was very poor time management by Sirianni. They should have lost the game. I'm sorry.
Taking the Rams.
Taking the Rams to cover. I think they do lose by a field goal too, Mike.
I got the Eagles.
Eagles cover by 4. Chargers, Broncos, man. Chargers look good. I think they're going to win this division. I think they beat the Broncos by a field goal.
Yes.
All right. Niners, Cardinals. Niners are only a 1.5 point favorite. I get it. They're going to miss Brock Purdy.
Kittle's still out?
Yeah, Kittle's still out, I believe. But I do think they win by more than 1.5.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
I got the Cardinals.
Taking the Cardinals. All right. Bears, Cowboys. Bears are a 1.5 point favorite against Dallas for some reason. This game's at Soldier Field.
Okay.
I'm taking Dallas. I don't care.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
I got the Bears.
All right. Lions at Ravens is the Sunday night game. Oh, Monday night game. This should be fun. Ravens are a 4.5 point favorite against Detroit. I don't think Detroit can stop them. Baltimore scored 40 in both games.
Baltimore.
I got the Lions.
All right. And finally, the Saints are at Seattle. 7.5 point favorites. Saints are losing by 8, brother. I'm just letting y'all know. We're looking at something like I'm thinking maybe a 24-16 type deal here.
I'm taking the Seahawks. I started to say the Mariners.
The Mariners. Well, you can take them too. I mean, we might score as much as the Mariners. So that's it. We'll see. Again, I hope I do better at the NFL than I did this week. It was very pathetic. I will do better. Again, get out, check out some games starting Thursday night. Rose Pines at Kinder, Maryville at LaSalle on Friday, DeQuincy Oberlin, South Bowes at Buckeye, Pickering at Northwood Lena, Crowley, East Bow. And you're taking the trip with Mr. Ilston Newton. Dragons play the Eagles. And then right here, hopefully they have AC. And Manny comes to the Wampa Dome to take on the Cats. That game can be heard right here on Today's Country 105.7.
May have a guest, don't know.
May have a guest, don't know. I may just have AI in there do it for me. I don't know.
There you go.
For Derrick Lee and Mike Holt, I'm Sean Larken saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next Tuesday night. This has been the Gridiron Gumbo Show on today's Country 105.7.
KVVP Leesville, DeRidder, Fort Polk, today's Country 105.7.